Happy Frugal Friday, friends. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm sharing 10 money rules that I live by. If you love talking about frugal living, budgeting, and saving money, you are in the right place. If you're living paycheck to paycheck, if you're trying to live by yourself for the first time, or just in general, you want to get control of your finances and be confident in your finances, keep watching because here are the 10 money rules I live by. Number 1, live below your means. In order to live below your means, you have to know what your means are. So you need to look at your pay stub. You need to look at what is entering your bank account each month. You need to know what are your means, what's coming in. Make sure all the things are taken out, what's hitting your bank account, okay? And then you need to spend less than that. If you did just number 1, you are going to be sitting pretty, because when we overspend, say your expenses are $3,000 a month and you spend $3,300 every single month. What does that mean? You're in the red. You're spending more than you earn, and that's going to cause debt. We want to always spend less than we earn so we don't accrue debt. Number 2, never whip out your credit card to pay for something you don't have the money for that month. I'm fine with credit cards if you use them responsibly. I use them. But if you don't have the money this month to pay it off in full, don't get into that habit. Because if you go on a little shopping spree, let's say $500, and you go buy all the things, and you don't have the money to cover it now, then you're going to be paying a lot more than that $500 if you have to pay interest on it. So make it a personal policy. If you don't have the money now, you're not buying that now. And if you make a strict policy with that, it's going to leave you in much better shape because you are not buying things you don't have the money for. Number 3, make sure you pay your bills on time, no exceptions. Girl, if you don't know when your payments are due, you need to have a better organized system. Me personally, I have everything on auto pay. If that makes you uncomfortable, set reminders, have a calendar. That's too much for me. To be very honest, that is too much for me. Because I have my budget buffer, which hopefully you have followed me long enough to know what that is. If you haven't, type in Kaden budget buffer after this. I don't worry about not having enough in my checking to cover an expense because, first of all, I have the budget buffer, but also I don't spend money unless I have it, right? So make sure your bills are paid on time. And if you happen to have one slip past the goalie, catch it by looking at statements and call immediately and ask for forgiveness, ask for it to be waived. If you are not a person that does this habitually, often they will waive it for you and save you that $35 to $50. Number 4, commit to spending 10 minutes a day looking at your accounts. I cannot stress how much this has changed my life. It takes 5 to 10 minutes every morning. I sit down with my coffee and I look at my accounts. I see what's coming out for checking. I check my credit card statement, make sure nothing weird's happening there. I often look at my retirement accounts. I have a real clear picture of how much money I have and what direction the accounts are going in. Even my mortgage, I like to look at that number and I like to watch that go down. And then I focus on, okay, how can I put more money toward these mortgage payments so I can get it down, right? But doing it every day is my point here, especially every weekday. If it's part of your routine, if you want to give it a rest on the weekends, fine. 5 to 10 minutes, look at your accounts. If you've got money on your mind and you are focusing on it, what you focus on gets the attention, gets the energy, and you will stay on top of it and not miss something. It's crucial. Rule number 5, absolutely non-negotiable, is to track every dollar you spend. Listen, Aristotle said, we are what we repeatedly do. And these 10 things I repeatedly do. And number 5, you must do and repeat. knowing where every dollar is going, assigning every dollar a job so that you know exactly where your money is going. And this, if you don't do yet, and you never are able to stick to a budget, this will be the thing that changes it. Track every expense. It's gonna lead into number 6, but let me just reiterate. Every dollar you spend, you've got to track it. For me, I use the website everydollar.com. You could do a spreadsheet, you could do it in a notebook, but you must, every time you spend, you have to record it. You have to track it. We are halfway through the video. If you've made it this far, type in the comments, these are the rules, and I will know you are on track to head to number 6. Number 6, one of my favorite rules, is to make a unique monthly budget every single month. This doesn't mean you have to start from scratch every single month. There are some expenses that are going to be the same every single month, but there are many that will not, okay? Like when I do my car insurance, I pay my car insurance every 6 months, so only twice a year I get that lump sum that I've got to pay. If you've got birthday parties, if you've got anniversaries, if it's the holidays, if you're planning a vacation, if it's back to school time and you've got all these extra expenses, if your kid's in a certain activity and you've got things you've got to ramp up, pay for, school pictures, fundraisers, that's not every single month. You've got to create a budget that is relevant for the coming month. And I do this every month before the month starts. And this is, I think, again, another key thing that people do wrong. And I'm not trying to judge anyone, but sometimes they do the annual budget and they just assume this is what it is. But if you are planning every single month like it's exactly the same, that might be where you need to tweak a little. Some people do an annual, they're completely happy with it. Again, I'm not telling you what to do, I'm telling you what works for me. This leads me into rule number 7, and that is to execute and adjust the budget as you go. It is not okay in our scenario to set it and forget it, because there's some line items that you're gonna plan for and you're gonna have a set amount, but it's gonna come in higher. Or there's gonna be some line items that you plan for a certain amount and it comes in under. So if you just said, oh, well, I put aside $75 for that and it's $25 higher, that is where that tracking comes in. Now you know you've got a $25 discrepancy. Tracking your spending and then adjusting as you go is the best way to do this, and it doesn't take long. I'm telling you, I spend 5 to 10 minutes a day doing this. So make sure you don't just set it and forget it, you stay in it. Check it out. Make sure you're not going over or under, or if you are, adjust. Number 8 is always have a savings goal or a money goal that you are attacking. For me, my example, as you know, is paying off this mortgage earlier than intended. I have a 30-year mortgage. I'm trying to pay it off in half, maybe even less. And that is always on the forefront of my mind. Me personally, I don't want debt. So you guys might have credit card debt. You might be trying to pay off a car. You might be sending your kid to college. You might, paying the kids' braces. If you don't have children at all, you might have just some personal goals of your own that you want to achieve. You want to adjust something in your house. You want to upgrade something. Whatever it is, whatever is important to you, you got to have something that when you are doing all this, you're like, if I do this, I'm going to get this. And that this has to be something irresistible or useful or just something you really want that really keeps you excited about it and keeps you on track. Number 9, it's easy to not think about the future, especially when you are young and you just think this is for older people. Well, suddenly I am older people. And the rule is put aside money for retirement every single month. There's many ways to do this. If you have an employer, you could do a 401k, 403b. If you don't have those options, you can open up a Roth IRA. I used to invest in a 401k and a 403b, and I have a Roth IRA, and I do Maine State Retirement. So even if it's not a ton, find an amount and put it towards your future, open up one of these accounts, you will not regret it. When you see that building slowly over time, compound interest is magic. Rule number 10, even if you are struggling to a degree, I highly recommend you give every single month in some capacity. There are some people that tithe, they do 10% to their churches. There are some people that have charities that they just automatically donate to. Sometimes we don't have a lot of extra, but you probably when you really do the rules that we're talking about here, could start with $5, maybe $10, donating to a cause that you believe in, giving to somebody that needs something even more than you do, contributing to someone's unfortunateness at the time. There's always somebody that needs something, your friends, your family, others. And sometimes back in the day, I used to hold on to my money so tightly. I know you guys have heard me say this a million times, but I was like, I don't have anything to give. Like I don't know how I'm supposed to give. I don't have it, right? Unclench your fist, your wrist, your jaw, and see if there's a way like that you can just give a little bit, because contributing does something in your heart and it helps others and it makes you want to be more generous. And I just always think, like, when I've gone through hard times, when people are kind to me, just how much that means. And so, just think about how you can give, even if it's in a small way. It'll make you see the world differently, and it will make a big impact not only on you, but on others. These are my 10 money rules. Let's do a recap. Number 1, live below your means. Number 2, never whip out a credit card to pay for something you don't have the money for that month. Number 3, pay your bills on time, every time. Number 4, check your accounts daily. Number 5, track every dollar. Number 6 is to make a unique monthly budget every single month. Number 7, execute and adjust the budget as you go. Number 8, always have a savings goal that you are attacking. Number 9, hook your future self up with contributing to a retirement every single month. And number 10, give every month. Now is your turn. Do you have a money rule that you follow that you could share with us that might help us improve our finances? Or share below, if you don't have any money rules, which one of these resonated with you the most? Which one do you want to try? Which one's made the most impact for you? If you have not hit subscribe, you guys, hit subscribe so you never miss a video. Come here for your weekly dose of frugal inspiration. If you want something to watch next, click right here for the next video. Thanks for being here, guys. See you next week. Bye.